What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jedi Jive. My name is Mike. Joining us again is my sister, Jenny.
Hey, everybody.
Coming at you with another She-Hulk reaction. Unfortunately, we watched like the first 5 minutes and we had a little bit of a technological snafu. Our computer died on us. Fortunately, we only have to rewatch 5 minutes of the episode.
All is not lost.
All is not lost. So the first couple minutes we've already seen, and we don't want to go back into our whole discussion again. We'll discuss the episode afterwards. Yeah. But we were talking about how Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk is a scenario that's now going to cause some conflicts because she can't have her big lawyer job and be She-Hulk at the same time necessarily, or
can she?
She's going to have to make some compromises.
Yeah.
She can't necessarily just come into this and have everything be easy, because one of the things that was pretty apparent in the first episode was that everything was coming easily to her. That it was like, okay,
right.
What's the conflict going to be? So at some point, Jennifer Walters is going to have to, make compromises, and it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows.
She's obviously so accomplished in her life, and it's clear that she's somebody to whom most things have come easily.
Yeah.
And things that are difficult for other people, even for other intelligent, accomplished people, are very easy for her. And this is not going to be quite so easy, and she's going to have to come to terms with that.
And obviously, we touched on a bunch last week, too, about how, like, there's definitely very clear feminist messages in this show, particularly ones depicting how difficult it is to be a modern woman and have a career and also have something, like, as they say, have it all. Yeah. In this case, it's being a superhero and being a high-powered lawyer at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see what compromises she has to make, and how her character is able to develop, because we don't necessarily just want to have her have some linear, like, she's awesome and she just stays awesome. Like,
that's not interesting. We want conflict.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, excited to jump in. We've also been made aware that every episode is going to have a post-credit scene, so we're going to make sure we look forward to that this time, and we'll see you guys after the episode. Let's do it.
A stunning scene from the Metropolitan Courthouse today, where superpowered influencer...
The courthouse
super influencer.
And she's been identified as Deputy District Attorney.
This is really a commentary also on, like, Insta celebrity, Like, this has gone viral.
They even just called the influencer.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Pretty decent.
Pretty decent.
Like a chick Hulk. A She-Hulk?
That's for you.
Oh, Legal Ease, it's called. It's like a lawyer bar. Yeah.
Which can't possibly be what they're calling me.
Lady Hulk, Girl Hulk, She-Hulk. Come on, just give them what they want.
What is it?
Could you go back to Jen? Jen, this is a serious conversation.
Didn't quite stick to the
Slower
landing.
metabolism.
Didn't win the case.
Oh, yeah, we did.
GLK&H had declared a mistrial. Well, this makes you a liability for the DA's office.
Wait, you're firing me?
That's kind of a dire commentary on the legal profession, that doing the right thing can be a liability.
Yeah. From a legal standpoint, though, like, he's technically, it's nothing wrong with what he's for firing her.
Such a big distraction in court.
We're not prepared to offer you the position at this time.
Sorry, it's a no.
It's like progressively like shittier offices that she's applying to. It's
worse lighting.
Yeah. That was like a basement right there.
Sorry.
This much sugar is very bad for you and your waistline.
Jen, you don't have to worry about getting fired. I already told everyone, so it won't be awkward.
The characters that aren't Jen Walters in this show are all cartoonish. Have you noticed that?
There is a bit of a, like, over-the-top quality.
Like a caricature of themselves.
Who works
So
at the
typical.
coffee shop that I go to. His name is Yusuf.
Do not set me up.
No, he's too young for you. No, he wants to be a superhero.
Oh, no.
He hadn't heard of you, but I gave him your number so that he could call you for advice.
Please stop giving my number out to strangers.
Oh, my goodness.
Chunky highlights.
Appreciate
Wow.
I hate that it got revealed in this way, like, in front of the whole world.
It's gonna be okay. This isn't even the first time we've had to deal with a Hulk in the family. But look, you're still standing. And now you get to keep moving on.
Miss Walters, it's nice to see you again.
Mr. Holloway?
The enemy law firm wants to hire her.
I'd like to offer you a job.
Is this a joke?
I'll never joke.
No, he wants to offer She-Hulk a job.
Yes.
You got me fired, now you want to hire me.
To be head of a new division, yes. Take some time.
I accept. I will only do it if I can hire my own paralegal.
And demand a higher salary.
He's like, new division or new project. So it's, she's going to have to defend superpowered people, which potentially means villains, right?
Yep. All superpowered people.
All superpowered people.
But then again, a DA would necessarily be have a problem with that.
This is like a high-powered law firm, or this is like a cynical law firm.
We just started a Superhuman law division, and I want you, well, the She-Hulk, to be the face of it. That means I'll expect you to be at work and in court as the She-Hulk.
It's almost like I want you to wear high heels and whatever to work.
Yep.
Like, yeah, like
that's exactly what it's like.
It's the equivalent of like, oh, you only got your job because you're pretty.
You need to present a certain image. Yeah.
And high heels. I like high heels.
Okay, this sucks. I am totally qualified, but now everyone around here is always going to think this is the only reason I got the job. It's so unfair. I should be able to enjoy the fact that I just got an amazing new job. And I
just getting the evil stare from the one other woman in the office. Yeah.
Oh, here we are. Your office.
Corner office.
Oh, yeah.
Right off the top.
Knock. Hi there, I'm Pug. I'm also in the Superhuman law division.
I love this actor.
I made you guys a welcome basket.
Aww.
Snacks.
Exact opposite of the other guy.
Best bathroom from pooping.
This male colleague is like the dream man.
That is an actor who is like the most adorable, darling guy. I love him. Josh Segarra.
Your first case is the parole of Emil Blonsky. Also known as Abomination, Mr. Blonsky has been serving a sentence in an ultra-high security prison.
All right. So we're going
Right to the big guns.
Yes.
I have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
It's quite all right.
He would like to retain you specifically as his attorney.
I would much prefer to be assigned literally any other case at this firm.
If you don't take the case, then you don't have a job here. At the very least, you should meet with the client before you decide.
Well, it's what I was saying about the, like, you can't, if she has moral conflicts, a DA's office wouldn't be a job for her either. Right?
Yeah,
you don't only represent innocent people.
No,
as a lawyer,
I don't think
right?
it's just about him being guilty, though. It's about the
the conflict of interest with the family.
The conflict of interest is
that's true. Yeah.
Legit.
Nice, let's go. Oh, like only the lasers like
safe area of the cell.
Above her.
Do not step past the yellow line. Do not touch the glass separating you and the prisoner Abomination. You accept these conditions.
Yo. Yes. Silence of the Lambs much, right?
Seriously.
Do not approach the cell.
Please indicate who we should notify.
It's that bad,
huh? Clarice.
Very dangerous man.
You gonna serve me up with some fava beans and a nice piano?
Oh my god!
There you go.
You called that one, buddy.
I think they did better to show and not tell there, though. I liked that. It's like laughing at your own joke when you kind of do it that way. Nice.
Tim Roth, the ledge.
Look at his cell.
I've completely transformed myself. Physically, obviously, but also spiritually.
That wasn't sanctioned by the government.
Yeah, because they pumped me full of that super soldier serum.
The serum the government gave you caused your subsequent actions?
I thought I was the good guy. You know? I thought I was going to be, you know, Captain Bloody America.
This reminds me of Captain the Winter Soldier a little bit.
Your cousin is held up as some kind of hero, and I'm locked up in here. Where's the justice in that, Jen?
Everything he said is, like, technically true.
But the parole board's going to need to know that you feel remorse for your actions to even consider release.
I have here various haikus that I've written.
Oh boy.
To each of my victims. I just want to move on with my life.
I got a new job.
Hey, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Part of the deal is I have to take on Emil Blonsky as a client, and I couldn't do that without talking to you first. So compelling, and maybe I want to believe that he's reformed.
Well, sure,
You know, isn't rehabilitation something that we should strive for as a society?
You can't get a word in edgewise.
I think you're calling me to tell me you're taking the job.
I'm calling you to tell you I'm taking the job, yes.
That's great, Jen. Actually, Blonsky wrote me a really nice letter a while back. And a really heartfelt haiku. What'd they end up naming you anyway?
She-Hulk? Don't even.
That's got a nice ring to it. She-Hulk, attorney at law.
You coming to LA anytime soon?
Yeah, probably not for a minute. I got some things I gotta take care of.
Oh, he's on the Sakaran spacecraft.
Oh, yeah.
Personal complications have been resolved, and I guarantee you are getting my best work. I've already got a winning strategy, and it is 100% in the bag.
You might want to take a look at the news right now.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Shocking footage leaked showing the Abomination participating in what appears to be an underground fight club after having somehow escaped from prison.
That sucks.
That was in Shang-Chi.
Yes.
So is that
yes.
overlapping timeline there with Abomination
You're
fighting
right.
Wong?
I had totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So
we know Wong's gonna.
and that
show
was the
up.
same cage. So that's the
and we
same
know
place.
Wong's going to show up in this show as well. So there is.
Oh wait, Wong is going to show up.
Yeah,
huh?
he was
was
in the
in the trailer. Yeah, okay, there you go. She'll probably gonna have to go to the fighting ring. I don't know if that timeline is going to overlap at all, but that would be interesting.
That is very interesting. I love that the concept art is courtroom sketches.
Yeah, I know. It keeps the comic book flavor.
Right.
Dude, I don't know what I'm doing down here.
Just keep turning.
I've turned it left, I've turned it right. Look,
Counterclockwise.
it just turns the wheel, dude.
He's just casually holding the car up.
Good.
Do not touch these wires again.
No, come on. There you go.
I'm glad you're staying hydrated, Dad, but this seems a little excessive.
Yeah, I feel like the initial, oh no, I'm going to be working for this evil, enemy lawyer. She had like a moral, obviously it was a family conflict specifically with Abomination, but it was, there was also a little bit of that, like, this guy's sketchy, like, you don't want to work for evil, bad people or whatever. Right. But then it seemed like it got cleared up a little bit. Oh, maybe, Abomination's going to be a good client. Like, she called Bruce all, like, I'm taking on the client. And then she promised him, you're going to get my best work. But then it immediately, he's like, turn on the news.
Oh, he's in an underground illegal fight club and he broke out of prison.
Yeah, so unfortunately, like, I don't necessarily think that the law firm, like, knew that Abomination was going to do that. Like, I think it's more sort of like I don't know if he just straight up lied to her or if he, like, who knows? Because he went to that fighting ring, which we pointed out was in Shang-Chi, and that's going to overlap a little bit. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
There's a really interesting sort of moral complexity because what you said during the episode was, as a lawyer, whether you work at a cynical, high-powered law firm or at the DA, sometimes you have to represent guilty people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a interesting question of like, where is the line when the guilty person in question is also a superpowered terrorist?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is actually now specifically the job that's offered to her is superpowered
right.
people.
I mean, everybody gets a lawyer. Everybody deserves equal legal representation under the law.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what is the line for somebody morally when the person in question has like destroyed an entire city neighborhood?
Yeah.
And so that is, I mean, even taking the family conflict out of it, that's like an interesting sort of moral gray area for her that she's having to navigate. We talked a bit about the conflict between being a superhero and being a lawyer, and she's being forced to sort of fast track that compromise because she's now expected to be She-Hulk at work all the time and in the courtroom. She's got to make the compromise that she doesn't want to make. Like, it's that or she has no job.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get to be a lawyer, which she's worked so hard for.
Yeah.
So she's really having to wrestle with her own inner conflict on a very fast-paced timeline.
Yeah, and that's ultimately like an identity conflict too. for her, because even there you see in that post-credit scene, her family, her loved ones, even they're like making the most out of the She-Hulk thing and like getting her to carry their heavy things and put their, everybody wants She-Hulk and not Jen Walters, and at a certain point she's going to be like...
It's like, don't you love me for myself?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, when do I get to be me?
And it's the same sort of, it's another level of the thing that she's experiencing at work, which is that everybody thinks she only got the job because she's She-Hulk, not because she's an accomplished lawyer.
Yeah, and like I said, to me, there was like the real world echo of the like, oh, they had the other paralegal or whatever shooting her the dirty look, where it was like, the people are going to think I only got this job because I'm pretty or whatever, or because I slept with the boss. Like, it's the equivalent.
Even though she's been through law school
you slept
and
your
has
way
like
to the
a
top.
resume.
Like, oh no, I'm qualified.
Like, no, I'm just as qualified as everybody else.
So that was the real world parallel there. But here in this case, it's like, oh, your She-Hulk thing is what got you the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the same as like last week where I was saying I was getting the vibe in general of the having it all and
of trying to have it all anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what we're gonna see with Abomination going forward, because he talked a good game.
Yeah.
Having sort of in prison.
So does Hannibal Lecter. So which was a blatant parallel that I saw.
You called
and then
that
it was like,
so quickly, and then they made the joke like halfway into the scene.
Yeah.
About the fava beans and the Chianti, but he claimed that he had sort of achieved a version of the same thing that Bruce has achieved, like integrating.
Yeah.
You know how Bruce was able to integrate Bruce and the Hulk. And it seemed really genuine. And
convinced.
He was able to control himself in the glass cage that he was in. And he says, I'm a Zen master now, basically. But then there was this weird undertone. Like I said, he wants to go live on a large piece of property that his 7 pen pal soulmates have purchased for him.
Yeah.
There's like shades of Charles Manson in there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, what's he and then he breaks out of prison. So it's like, what's his end game? What's his
to me though, I think it would be really different if he like broke out of prison and then robbed a bank, because then she'd be like, oh my god, I gotta represent the bank robber, like, and I just told everybody that everything was going to be okay. But here it's like, oh, it does seem like maybe he went to cage fighting just because he just wants to live his life. So he didn't lie to her. He just, he shouldn't have broken out of prison.
What his real agenda is a question still, I think. So it's, it's a question for her, but it's also a question for us. Like, what is this guy actually up to, or what's he
Is she still going to be able to represent him and not necessarily have a moral conflict of some kind?
Or a legal conflict at this point.
I really, really, really like Marvel continues to do the gray area villain thing, where it's like with Zemo, for instance, where very like, oh, this is a very, very intelligent person that is capable of like extreme manipulation and stuff like that, where it's like you never know whether you can trust him or not.
You hear his arguments from a certain perspective, and they sort of sound like they make sense.
You can't help but be like, I agree with this guy or whatever. Like Thanos, for instance.
Right,
it's very
exactly.
Like,
he's trying to solve climate change, but genocide might not be the way to go about that.
Exactly. So like there could be aspects of Abomination where we're like, this is a totally cool character. Like,
he makes this whole argument about how the government used him and sort of spit him out, which is a convincing argument.
They even started playing the the moody music during that scene, during that monologue, to make it more like where they showed Jen Walters feeling like, remorse for him or whatever, and feeling bad all of a sudden, like, this is new information I didn't know about you or whatever. And they gave him a character moment there to you could feel sympathy for him, and I love that, how Marvel does that, where you can feel sympathy for villains.
When he was talking about the super serum, you made the connection to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah. Bucky was a villain at one point too, and now he's like our favorite guy.
Yeah, the speech, it reminded me, even though, what was his name? Elijah, the original Captain America.
Bradley.
Elijah Bradley. Yeah, he wasn't a villain. He was an Abomination, but he had a similar sort of like, oh, like I thought, like I was the good guy. They sent me to like,
and then they spit him out, hero, and then they discarded him.
Yeah, and then exactly.
Obviously, in this case, the Abomination,
the government took advantage of him,
did like destroy a whole city block or whatever, and he did try to kill the character that we know and love as Bruce Banner.
There was an innocent man in there,
but there was like a highly trained soldier who was just doing his job, who was used for nefarious purposes.
Yeah. Well, Elijah Bradley wasn't like used as like a but in terms of like the government using you as a weapon. That I saw parallels there, and that was I liked. So if you haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, go watch it. That was one of the original after WandaVision that we watched, and we really liked it. Anyway, guys, continue to enjoy this. Is it 9 episodes you said this was?
I think so, yeah.
And I enjoy how they're like, sub 30 minute. I think that works for this because there is a little bit more of that comedy vibe. She only broke the fourth wall, I think, once or twice in this episode.
Yeah,
and
she
it was
came
very
into
brief.
the office and said, like, oh, this sucks.
Yes, exactly. She turned around while walking and she was like, this sucks. They only got this job for whatever reason. So yeah, they didn't overdo that part of it.
Yeah.
Which is good. But I continue to enjoy that aspect of it as well because it gives it, like I said, the shorter episodes and the fourth wall breaking, it has its own little sort of, I can see this being sitcom-y in that way.
Speaking of, shout out to Marklyn Baker. It's cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers playing her dad.
Yes.
One of the great sitcoms of all time.
I saw that. I wonder if Bronson Pinchot will be able to have a role too. That would be funny. Isn't he the other one?
Yeah, did he die?
Did he?
I think maybe he died.
No. Anyway, that's off the subject. Anyway, guys, let us know what you thought about this episode in the comments below. If you want to see fully unedited reaction, we'll put one on patreon.com/JediJive. Go check it out. We will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.